Good morning and welcome to Coffee Club. My name is Abby Smith. I'm running for mayor of the city of Kokomo, and this is a weekly video series where I answer a personal and a policy question, and we have coffee. So the personal question this week is about what I'm reading right now or what my favorite book is. So right now I'm trying my best, though I don't have a lot of free time, to read Where the Crawdads Sing. It's the Howard County Reads book. Thank you to the Kokomo Howard County Public Library for spearheading this initiative to try to get everybody in our community to read the same book at the same time. They've planned lots of different events, and I think they do a great job with that every year. I try my best to read the Howard County Reads book. I think I've succeeded one time so far, but I think it's awesome that you're just encouraging everyone and bringing people together around books. I think it's important. And then my favorite book, I don't have one. So I just think there are so many books out there that I would imagine if you had a favorite book, then you would read it multiple times. I know lots of people that do that. I have tried a couple of times to do that, but I tend to get bored and think, wait, I could be reading another book that I haven't read. So I think I might have reread one or two books in my life, and usually it's something I read as like a middle schooler or a high schooler, and I'm pretty sure I did not get the full weight of, so I read it again as an adult. But the first book I remember reading really stuck with me, mainly because it was the first time that I fully understood what it meant to be engrossed by a book, was Ordinary People. I think it's a great story, and it fully took me away from whatever my real life was, and I was all in with the family. So then in recent years, I started reading a little bit more. My kids are older, so I have some more time, and I also found that it was the most effective way to get me out of my phone. But I read a book called Thelonious Rising. Wonderful book, highly recommended. The author's name is Judith Richards, and it's a wonderful story about a little boy and his grandmother in Hurricane Katrina. It's got a lot of, I don't know, you really feel like you're in New Orleans, and it's a great book. And then I also read Crazy Rich Asians. So that's one of my favorite pastimes, is reading the book and then watching the movie and then finding all the ways that the movie was different than the book and shouldn't have been, which really annoys my husband. But that actually, it was a fun book. You just really kind of whisks you away in your imagination to imagine what it would be like to live that life. And then the movie, I think they did a great job. So it was so pretty, vivid colors, and I thought they did a great job with that movie. So the policy question this week is about inclusion and how are we doing as a city with inclusion, and what would I do to ensure that we're a community where people are welcome and we treat each other with respect and we appreciate each other's perspectives. So it's a pretty tall order, but it's doable, and you just really have to try. I think sometimes when it comes to inclusion, which I want to make sure we understand, we're not just talking about race, we're not just talking about black and white, right? We are talking about all kinds of different people, different characteristics, different genders, and at different ages. I think that when we talk about inclusion, we think race only, and we think only two races. So we need to be sure that we're always including more people, no matter what. And so I think the conversation with inclusion gets limited because it's really big and scary. And I think people are afraid of hurting each other's feelings. They're afraid of being accused of being racist. They're afraid of a lot of things. But the reality is, the best way to practice inclusion is on a personal level. You're choosing to find people who aren't like you and have experiences with people who aren't like you, and appreciating their differences and learning from their differences. We have a tendency as people to think that our experience in the world is the truth in the world, but it's our truth. It's not everyone's truth. And I think respecting that other people have a different experience having gone through life than we do, and listening and learning to what that was like, really allows us to grow as a community and just become better people. I had my sister-in-law went to a training one time about diversity and inclusion, and she talked about the trainer giving her a visual of a filing cabinet, and each file would be experiences that we have with people that we've met in our life. And so we tend to base what we know about certain types of people on our experience with a person who is that type, however we define it. And so she said the more experiences you have, the more files you have to pull from when you look at other people or meet new people and assess. So we could say judge, which is true, but it's kind of just a normal thing that humans do is we meet people and we assess them. But it takes us longer to figure them out, and we judge them less if we have more files to pull from, if you think about it that way. So that was a really helpful way for me to think about it. So thanks, Jayla. So what can we do about it? I think first is we're just having real conversations. I think people are afraid to talk about issues of diversity and inclusion or race or gender or anything else, but don't be afraid. Just talk to people and ask questions. I think you need to also, secondly, be willing to listen. So don't assume that you know. If you ask a question, listen to the answer and learn it. Consider it for a while before you answer or kind of talk over people. And then third, I think that if we think about inclusion in terms of a city, I think about what kinds of development are we investing in a city, whether it's an amenity in a park, sidewalks, lighting, a company coming in, whatever that might be, making sure that we can't do the same thing for everyone, right? So that's the difference. It's not equality. It's not making sure that everyone has exactly the same thing. I think it's really about equity, right? Making sure that everyone has access to the resources in an individual way. So sometimes people have access to amenities by car. Great. If they don't drive a car, they don't have a car, how do we make sure they have access? Well, we have the public transportation system. We have the trolley and the Spirit of Kokomo bus. So that's another way we're providing access to, we're including more people in the amenities of the city. What if it's on the weekend, right? And the trolley is not running. Well, do we have a way for them to walk to the amenity, whatever it is? And then we even go further. If people are differently abled, what if they don't walk? What if they use a scooter or a wheelchair? How are we ensuring that they can get to whatever resource it is that they need or want to go to? So I think when we have different people at the table sharing different perspectives, we are always better. We have a better solution, a better product at the end of the day. So it really is about having the diligence and the commitment to saying, do we have enough perspectives at the table right now? And which ones are we missing? And how do we get them? If you don't have a leader that is always looking to include more people, then honestly, the result that you get at the end is going to be not as good as it could have been if we have a more rich understanding of what it needs to be. So, okay. Have a great week. We just came off of the candidate forum last Thursday. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate the support, and the video is out there if you want to share it. This week we have a very exciting event coming up, First Friday, October 4th. We'll have a booth, but also we have an event, a masquerade social at the Hobson. Thank you very much to the Hobson for hosting us. And DJ Gabby Love is coming. Thank you very much. She's such an awesome DJ, and come and listen to her music. She makes it really, really fun, and I can't wait to see you there. If you have any questions, need any information on it, we have tickets available on our website, on our Facebook page, I think everywhere. It's $10 a person, and there's some VIP pricing too, but I would love to just fill the room, have a great time. We're getting close to voter registration, so we're trying to register a bunch of people to vote and just really get a lot of excitement coming into the end of the campaign. Thanks a lot. Have a great week.